Live from the City of Angels on this Sunday night, you are watching Midnight Movie Talk, the MMT Sunday Evening Spectacular, and we are just 2 days away from learning what films are in for Oscar, what films are out. We'll discuss that tonight, along with Critics' Choice. Allegations its members are treating celebrities like pets at a petting zoo. That'll be fun. Along with HCA, Hollywood Creative Alliance, formerly Hollywood Critics Association. We're going to discuss what's happening with that organization. You name it, we're game. You know that. There's no rules here on MMT, only the truth. That's all we ever seek to speak here on the channel. Here we go. We are getting the news on Tuesday morning. By the way, if you want to watch, and I recommend you do, on Tuesday morning, we'll be live at 5:30 my time. So I am going to be slightly out of it that morning, but having seen virtually all of these films at this point, knowing this inside and out as the editor-in-chief of awardsace.com, I am very familiar with all of this and what is expected on Tuesday morning. We'll do it live. But right now, we are going to go over the films I see that are going to be hugely successful on Tuesday morning, and the films and or performances that will not be on Tuesday morning. Now, a number of these categories are tight, right? It's typically the way it goes. We know like the top three for a lot of these categories, possibly four. In some cases, all five are virtually locked. But for the big categories like supporting, for sure, you even look at actress, very much in flux. Actor, will Leo get in or not? All of that to be discussed. Your comments come in, but I want to tell you, I'm producerless again, so you got to give me a super chat. I don't care if it's 98 cents. It makes my life easier as I try to get through those and filter the comments and make them pertinent to what we're talking about. Let's start with a weird category. Well, I mean, it's not the obvious category to start with because typically, let's start with Best Picture, Actor, Director. No, I want to go to Best Score. Best Original Score. As you guys know, how many times have you heard me talk about the importance of a composer and his or her work in that success of the film? If the score is the right score, in many cases a score that elevates, as we're going to discuss with these, the film, then that's what we're looking for when we talk about the best composed original score of 2023 on Tuesday morning. Here's what you're going to see. The film that's going to win, not even any question to this whatsoever. This is over. For all intents and purposes, this category is already in the bank. It is Ludwig Göransson's Oppenheimer score. That is end of discussion, right? Give me a like because you know I'm right. Who disagrees with that? I don't even care if you really think that. Even Phil Lord, who watches the channel, I know, Phil, that you love Daniel Pemberton's work with Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, your film. And you should, because, again, what does it do? Elevates the film. That's what we're looking for. But when you're going against Oppenheimer, no chance. That's the winner. It's over. Number 3 is going to be Killers of the Flower Moon. Robbie Robertson, posthumous. He's going to get a nomination. At the time I saw Killers of the Flower Moon, remember I told you the MVP of that film is that thumping score, that indigenous score. So it has to be here. Any other year, it would contend with Spider-Man, and you'd have those two. But when you have Ludwig and Oppenheimer, like we said, it's over. Poor Things, a score that I absolutely hated. It's a weird, obtuse score, and I do not like it. I don't like the film. And typically, listen, like, I trash Poor Things 24/7. I hate the film. I mean, literally, not just dislike. I loathe at a level that is incomprehensible for some, but this film is disgusting across every level. I don't care how great Emma Stone is. The central idea of this film, of a woman taking her baby's brain and planting it in her head. Well, she doesn't. William Dafoe's character does. And then she goes on to explore sexually with the mind of a toddler. I'm not celebrating that shit, and you shouldn't either. That's the reality of it. Poor Things is disturbing. It is amoral, I would suggest. It's a piece of shit film. And the score itself is not good. Jerskin Fendrix. Yeah, I think that's right. I hated the score too. Everything about this film, including the fisheye lens every fourth shot. I loathe it. But it'll get in. Zone of Interest, thank God, I have it 5. Micah Levi. When we talk about underrated composers, Micah is by far the one that you need to know if you don't already. Go back and look at Micah's work over the years. So many films she has elevated. I think she goes by they now, have elevated to a different plane. You're just going up so many notches. And when you watch a film like Zone of Interest, and I know you're finally getting that opportunity to see this film, one of my favorite films of the year, top 5. I think it had number 3 this year, 2 or 3, right? It's Micah Levi's score and the use of it in that film, disorienting and bizarre and exactly what the film needed. And that's why, in some ways I don't have a problem voting Zone of Interest score as number 1, because we're talking about the impact of the score to the film. As Christopher Nolan said when he walked on stage for that live score performance of Oppenheimer at UCLA, what is it now, 2 weeks ago? Still thinking about that. Wow. One of the unforgettable nights I've had here in Los Angeles at one of those FYC events. By far, this is one of the best. He said that, you look at Ludwig's score and it's part of the DNA. And I would suggest that Micah's score for Zone of Interest is exactly that as well. I think those are 5. Now, if there is going to be a surprise, it's going to be The Boy and the Heron, Barbie. Elemental's just there as no chance. Really, it's those 5 I mentioned along with Barbie and The Boy and the Heron, but I'm going to go with the 5 I said. I would take Poor Things out, and I'd put Boy and the Heron, even though I think Boy and the Heron is a mid-film. If it were not from who it's from, you guys would not be raving about Boy and the Heron. I am certain of that. It's another case of, hey, it's Miyazaki. Hey, it's Fincher. Hey, it's whoever the director is. Bong, name someone. It's Tarantino. It's got to be good. Well, I can tell you something. This is not a great Miyazaki film. If it was by any other director, it wouldn't even be in discussion. I'm just telling you, and I know I'm right about that. So those are our 5. Let's continue along comments as we go. Let's go to another category that, of course, I love. I love tech. I talk about tech all day, all night. The whole stream could be about tech stuff. You guys be like, okay, that's enough. But you guys get it. If you love film, you got to love cinematography. So here we go. We got our best cinematography contenders. Again, number 1 on the board is Oppenheimer. Number 2, Killers of the Flower Moon. 3, Poor Things. Oh, God. Zone of Interest at 4. And 5 is Maestro. For those people who are like, Maestro is overrated, it's a terrible film, I'm telling you what, you guys didn't watch Maestro, because Maestro, from a filmmaking perspective, just from that standpoint, from the tech standpoint, from the cinematography, from the choice of shots, from the edits in that film, Bradley Cooper's direction is worthy of a nomination in direction. We'll talk about that momentarily, but also for cinematography. Next in line beyond those 5, Napoleon, The Color Purple. Even though I don't think it's going to be that high, I should probably flip that with Ferrari. Saltburn's still in the mix. Barbie's down there. Killer. I mean, it's at that point, we're pretty much out of it. So really, again, we're looking at 5 films that are going to get in. Some of these categories are pretty much just locked as they are. There's not going to be a lot of play within those. And I would suggest both score and cinematography are 2 of those categories. Okay, we're not going to do sound and makeup. It's all there for you on awardsace.com. I have too many other things to get to, and I want to talk about another category that, for me, we're talking about some of the best films of the year when you look at international feature, formerly foreign language. And the number 1 film there is Zone of Interest. Here's the debate, okay? So when we get to Best Picture, we're going to talk about Zone of Interest. Zone of Interest is going to win international feature. As such, if you have a film that's going to be rewarded in one category as the best international feature, does it then get best picture? And I know you're going to say in the past we've seen this happen all the time with Aroma. We, just recently, obviously Parasite. We see it happen all the time where it does bleed, right? Drive My Car. But when you look at Zone of Interest, that is a film that I have had in the entire time, and I'm leaning towards taking it out of Best Picture. We'll talk about it in a minute because it's going to win International Feature. Also, for sure, in because of Netflix alone and how hard they're going to push and how they pushed that film, Society of the Snow. Did not get to it because I only broke my Netflix embargo for a few films. I didn't do it for everything. I still haven't watched The Killer. I mean, I had to sit through May, December. You made me watch that Hallmark Channel garbage. I had to sit through that, and I didn't get to watch The Killer because The Killer's not going anywhere. So, okay, I'll watch May, December. Film Twitter says it's Todd Haynes' masterpiece. Oh, really? It's Hallmark Channel? Lifetime? Is that what we're talking about? Because that's what he made. It's a Todd Haynes Hallmark Channel film. Ladies and gentlemen, congratulations for awarding it for... why? What are you doing? Oh, it's Todd Haynes. Oh, okay. I'm sorry. Then it's not a Hallmark Channel film. Yes, it is. It still is. Doesn't matter who directed it. Not a great film. Taste of Things is a film that I have at 3, but I could see that possibly. Here's why. And listen, Taste of Things is France's pick for this category. They didn't go with Anatomy of a Fall. Now, if Anatomy of a Fall were here, we'd be talking about a really tight race between Zone and Anatomy. Because it's not, Zone wins, and Taste of Things might get screwed because people are like, hey, you did Anatomy of a Fall dirty, France. We're not going to nominate Taste of Things. We've seen it happen in the past. RRR, obviously, last year didn't get India in was it the Last Picture? No, not the Last Picture Show. The whatever the hell the film was that didn't get nominated. It didn't get. Teacher's Lounge, I just saw. German film. I like so much of it. The end is not as satisfying as I would really like to see. I would take everything about the Teacher's Lounge and then just rewrite the final 3 pages of the script. And then you have a really strong film, but it's very grounded, which, of course, you guys know I love. I love grounded, gritty, dramatic films. And The Teacher's Lounge has so much of that. And then Perfect Days, a film I've been waiting to see. I've been waiting for it to come to AMC, and it's still not there. They've had screenings around LA, and I'm like, I'm not driving 25 minutes away, paying for parking to watch a movie. I'm not doing it anymore. You guys know I didn't see most of these things early this year because I'm like, I'm not going to deal with the bullshit. I'll watch it when it's at AMC. All these people that went off to I almost said Telluride, close enough, to Sundance to watch the films, it's bizarre. Why do people fly or drive 10 hours if you come from LA to go to Sundance to watch a movie? You're going to see it in like a few months. It's weird. Like, can I say this as we can just take a time out here? Time out, everybody. Time out. Can I take a break from the Oscars predictions for a moment? Can I talk about the film space and the people that exist within it? There are so many people in this space that are so excited to see a film first. I'm at Sundance and I'm seeing Kristen Stewart's new film. I'm not making fun of Menzel right now. I'm just using that as an example. He's there. He went to see it. But here's what I'm going to tell you. If you are paying thousands of dollars or driving 10 hours to Sundance to watch a movie early, unless you're monetizing it, unless you're making some legitimate money at this, why are you driving to Sundance to watch a movie? Nobody cares about your opinions that much, and that includes me. You see me in Sundance? Hell no. Menzel even said, do you want to go? I said, no, I don't want to go. I'll watch it when it's here. I don't understand the mentality. Unless you have monetized it, it makes no sense. So many people in this space are so excited to say, I saw it first. I have the first reaction. Look, I am on the poster. Let me explain a couple things. The first reaction makes you no money. The poster makes you no money. Only thing you're doing is feeding an ego, which doesn't fucking matter. I've been quoted and used by studios. It doesn't make you rich. People are weird. Don't do that. Don't be so thirsty. I'm at Sundance watching a movie. I'm so excited. I'm so cool. You're actually not. You're actually showing me you're kind of dumb because you're spending a ton of money for nothing that you can watch this movie. You're not moving the needle. You're not that important. And that includes me. Yeah, I know. It's weird, right? But it's strange. I don't know what it is. There's something about it's almost like a cult. Film is almost like a cult. I like talking about it. You know, I love film, but I also don't go out of my way to spend thousands of dollars to fly to Cannes to watch a movie I can see in 3 months here or 2 weeks or whatever the time frame is. It doesn't make any sense financially whatsoever. But some people just love to go. Well, fine, but you just know you're burning money. All right, back. That was a side. That was a long, little sidetrack there. I apologize. Back to the Oscars. And then Perfect Days, I can't wait to see. And then Fallen Leaves is a film I saw. I liked. It is, and whether my friend Paul wants to admit it or not, it is a comedy. I liked Fallen Leaves. It's 80 minutes long. It could get in. Io Capitano could get in from Italy, but I think we're looking at our 5 there. If any of them don't miss, I actually have 3 Taste of Things. I would actually maybe push Taste of Things, but I think they're all 5 in. This looks like another locked category. All right, let's continue along and let's go to a big category. I've given you some smaller ones because that's what we like to do here. We don't want to talk about Best Picture all day. We want to talk about Best Production Design. I'll get to that in a minute. Let's go to Best Actor, okay? And this one's a fun one because we have 2 heavyweights battling it for the top slot, right? We have Paul Giamatti versus Cillian Murphy. It is those 2 that have the only chance of winning. Everybody else here is playing for a spot, including Bradley Cooper, Jeffrey Wright, and I have Leonardo DiCaprio in, even though he did not get the BAFTA nomination. That went to Coleman Domingo. I am taking Leonardo DiCaprio because he is fantastic in the film. It's one of his best performances. I want to see him there, and I think he does get in. If not, it will go to Coleman. If not, it goes to Barry Keoghan, or is it Keegan? I'm tired of having that debate. I need to ask Barry next time I see him at my gym. And then we have T.U. from Past Lives, or Teo. I don't think that even belongs. You guys know what I think about Past Lives. First of all, it's a supporting performance, and then second of all, he's fine, but the movie I would not really have it anywhere on my card, so that's not happening. I say Leo's in. I say Leo is 100% in. Okay, 98% in. Exactly. It's Murphy versus Giamatti. That's it. Everything you say, it's Cillian's a lock. Don't think that. Do not think it's a lock. I would say if I were betting, right, I'm going to put most of my money on Cillian, but I'm still going to not put all of it. I'm not going to bet that. It's not that big of a lock. I'm just telling you, it's not. All right, let's go and let's do Best Actress, and then we'll bounce back down to Production Design because I really like Production Design. It's world building. We got to have good. If we don't have quality world building in a film, especially a period piece or a fantasy sci-fi kind of thing, you're dead. You have to have quality production design. So we'll talk about that after we do actress. Then we'll go director, picture, screenplay, all this stuff. I'm going to go as fast as I can. Trying to get through all this because, there's some people, they literally talk for like 20 minutes on one category, and you're like, oh my God, no one needs to talk this much about a category. I mean, don't you just want to get the hits, runs, and errors? That's what we're doing here tonight. I still have Lily Gladstone number 1 for Best Actress. Now, you're going to say I'm crazy and I hate Emma Stone. I don't hate Emma Stone. I hate Poor Things. But I still believe that the Academy consists of a lot of members that want to reward the pick that feels good, the pick that's going to get them a speech that they fall in love with. And I can tell you right now, that's going to come from Lily Gladstone much more than Emma Stone. And it's also one of these things, right? When you're looking at a Gladstone versus Stone, 2 Stones, you're looking at, for me, in some way, and I know this goes against everything I said about Tar, but let me say, before I say this, Tar was a unique circumstance. Tar had Cate Blanchett with her career best performance, one of the best performances we've seen in the past decades, and it doesn't win. So what I'm about to say between Gladstone and Stone here is this, that when you have them closer ranked, okay, neither one of these performances is a Cate Blanchett Tar. Neither one. I don't care how the Poor Things defenders want to say it's not happening. So when you have two performances that, as you guys, it's hard for me to even discuss Poor Things and be objective, but Lily Gladstone is not going to have this look again anytime soon. And so as a voter, I am going to go for the person that's probably not going to be back here anytime soon, at least not tomorrow, maybe in a few years, but she's not. Emma Stone's going to be back next year. A year after, she's the Leo DiCaprio of these days, right? She's going to be in. She's going to every single time she's going to get nominated at this point. Gladstone's not. So you're going to then turn it to Cate Blanchett. The difference, what I tell you, when you look at Lily and Emma, they're rated about the same. This isn't Cate Blanchett and Tar. So the difference is last year you're going to say, well, that's why they went with Michelle. But I just said it was not, that was a career best performance from Cate Blanchett. That changes everything. But when they're rated about the same, you go for the person that's not going to be back anytime soon, or at least not as soon as Emma. Okay, that's fair. Carey Mulligan, 3. Margot Robbie's in. For a long time, I didn't have her there. I think the performance, I like it. It's better as it goes on, right? At the end of the film, Margot's stronger than the beginning. And I know that's the character, too. I get it. But she's in. Fantasia I have as well. She got the BAFTA. I have her there. And then you have Sandra Huller from Anatomy of a Fall. While I personally believe that she belongs, I don't believe she gets in. I think she's going to be on the outside looking in, and you're going to look at the 5 I just mentioned. And then behind Sandra Huller is going to be Annette Bening from Nyad with a SAG and a Golden Globe. I just saw Origin. Can I speak about Origin for a moment here? I'm actually going to do a little more of a deep dive on it here later in the stream, but I'm going to say this. Aunjanue Ellis, I think it's, how do you say it? Aunjanue, correct? Aunjanue Ellis is Origin. She is in the 98% of that film. And I really admire so much of Origin. It's a much better film overall for me. Certainly, I had a much more rewarding experience watching Origin than Poor Things. Origin is a very complex film in what it tries to do. It's extremely ambitious, and it tries to wrap the caste system into racism, and to say that racism isn't about the color of your skin so much as the fact that a certain class of person is undesirable or untouchable. Okay, I love concepts that stretch me. I want to watch a film that makes me say, I'm going to rethink some things here. But ultimately, what Origin does well is it lands its message that we all are human beings. No one should be valued higher or lower based on any caste system, or certainly not any form of racism. We live in a world that I, as talk about so often, I have never valued a film higher or lower because it's a woman director, because it is anything of race or sex or religion. It doesn't matter. You just don't value it that way. You value the film based on the talent that's on display, and that's what Origin strives to say, is that we are all the same at the end of the day. Why are we doing this shit? I think Origin belongs in Best Picture much more than Poor Things. It's not even close. Origin's in and Poor Things is out. If I'm running the Oscars, there's not even a chance the Poor Thing's getting in. I want it banned from the Oscars. Every bit of it banned. All right, I'm going to come back to Best Picture. Let's go, because I know let's finish with Best Picture. I just said I want Origin in, but I'm going to roll out to production design. Then we're going to go to supporting, and then we'll go screenplay, director. We're going to do this fast. We're going to go faster. We're going to crank the speed up For those of you that are like, my God, it's the Oscars. Guys, we have to talk about these things. It's just what needs to occur. Okay, here we go. Production design. Another one again, world building, guys. It's got to be there. Oppenheimer, number one. You had to build Los Alamos. You had to build the time frame. Again, anything that's historical, to go in there and recreate a period piece, that is a pain in the ass. And as such, you're going to get rewarded with a production design nomination. And in this case, I strongly believe Oppenheimer wins here as well. Barbie, though, is going to contend. You have to create Barbie Land. That is not an easy task, and I believe that Greta did a very solid job of that along with her team. Poor Things is here. Ugh. Why? I'm going to skip it. I don't want to talk about it. Killers of the Flower Moon, again, period piece. You got to recreate the Osage tribe, everything there. A lot of buildings being built there in the middle of nowhere, Oklahoma. That's not easy to do. Very much like a Power of the Dog, only it's a much bigger scale. Power of the Dog was a big production design contender. And then you have Napoleon. If you look at a place where Napoleon fits, it's here, it's sound, it's makeup, it's those kind of places. If it doesn't get anything, that wouldn't surprise me either, because the general reaction to Napoleon, now that it's been out for almost 2 months now, is, yeah, moving on. No one really seems to care about Napoleon. So if it doesn't get in, then you're going to see a Maestro. You possibly could see a Wonka here. You talk about world building. That's what we have here with Paul King. Color Purple as well, period piece. You had to build a lot of that. You had to build that shack along the swamp. That's a pain in the ass again. When you bring these things to life, that's work, and that is production design. Ferrari, probably just going to get sound if it gets anything. Maybe Penelope Cruz in supporting, but Ferrari's a film that for all intensive purposes is dead outside of a couple of 5 spots. It's not going to win anything. Obviously, it's Oppenheimer's going to win the majority of the Oscars along with Barbie. It's going to be Oppenheimer, Barbie, Barbenheimer the entire night. Let's go to supporting actress. The winner is Divine Joy Randolph of The Holdovers. She is 100% going to win this thing. It's not even a contest. Number 2 on the board is Danielle Brooks, Color Purple, one of the few spots that film has locked down. Emily Blunt, Oppenheimer, you could put her in 2. You could have her at 3. She's not going to win. It's going to be Randolph. 4 is Jodie Foster, Naiad, a very by-the-numbers biopic situation with that film. Jodie's the best thing about it, by far stronger than Annette Bening, and she belongs here. And then, not just because she works out at my gym as well. And then Rosamund Pike, Saltburn, is probably going to get in. She got the BAFTA, but then you're looking at Penelope Cruz, who has the SAG, Ferrari. So that 5 spot again could be Pike, could be Cruz. Maybe it's Julianne Moore, May December. Ooh, that'd be so bad. Julianne Moore's not great in this film. I think Julianne Moore's typically strong, but not here. And then you're pretty much out of it. You could see Claire Foy got a BAFTA for All of the Strangers, which I don't have a problem with. I love that film. And then Sandra Huller here, Zone of Interest, possibly with the BAFTA. But everyone else, it's really wild how Viola Davis did not materialize. Can I talk about the importance? Let's use Viola Davis as a jumping off point here when we talk about how crucial the release date of an awards film is to its success, okay? Because here's the thing, is when you look at a film like Air, it came out 1 year ago, essentially, March, right? It was very early in 2023. If this is what's wild, and you guys, you know I'm right, so get ready with the like button, get ready with the comments, because it's 100% correct. If Air drops in November, Air is very likely a Best Picture nominee. You could get a supporting out of it, maybe even a lead actor. You then also have certainly Viola Davis, supporting actress, and then you're looking at a film that is a contender everywhere. Why is Air not going to be a contender virtually anywhere on Tuesday morning? because of the fact it was released in March instead of November. Now, the box office was pretty solid for that film. It worked from that standpoint. But you do not drop an awards film early in the year and expect to have success. And you're all screaming right now, and I'm about ready to burst the bubble. Boom, you ready? Here it comes. You're going to say Everything Everywhere. You're going to say Get Out. You're going to say Black Panther. What do all three of those films have in common? You tell me. What do Black Panther, Get Out, and Everything Everywhere have in common? Tell me in the comments. I'm not going to say it. You're going to say it. Air does not have that. It could, but it doesn't. And as such, Air is going to get the shaft just like Rocketman got the shaft, because when you release a movie in March, in Rocketman's case, May, you cannot carry that momentum through all the way. It doesn't ever work unless you're one of the three I mentioned, a few exceptions throughout history. But in general, you're making your job nearly impossible. That's why Air is not 100%. Johnny just said it. I'm not even going to say it. That's it. At the end of the day, that's why those three films were able to carry the momentum all the way through, and you guys know it. I hate to be. Listen, at the end of the day, here's what I spew. Facts through the microphone, whether it's uncomfortable or not, I don't give a shit. At the end of the day, what I'm saying is 100% true. Everything that comes out of this microphone, you might not like the opinion, but it's dead on, because I am objective. I have no dog in the fight, zero whatsoever, and that's exactly what Air did not have going for it. Okay, let's continue, and let's go to where do you guys want to go? Let's go to supporting actors, since we just did supporting actress. Number one, and it's a win, it's a lock, and all of film Twitter. God, how dumb is film Twitter? I mean, I don't even just say that lightly. How obtusely stupid is film Twitter? They have no grasp on reality for very many films. They don't understand how the real world works, because most of them live in some fantasy land in their parents' basement, possibly the attic. They don't live in the real world. Oh my God, it's true though, isn't it? And because of that, they think and they thought that Charles Melton was going to win for May December, not Robert Downey Jr., the king of Hollywood, one of the kings of Hollywood. Everyone loves RDJ. Everybody. And film Twitter was like, Charles Melton's going to win. That's our guy. It's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. And now that we're so far into it with Melton landing, did he even get anything? Hold on, let me look. Did he even get a single thing? No, he didn't get BAFTA, Golden Globes. Did he get Critics' Choice? We're not talking about Critics' Choice. We're going to hammer Critics' Choice again momentarily, so be ready. He didn't get anything that mattered, because Critics' Choice doesn't matter. Oh, Weber's spewing facts. Here's the thing, though. Oh, American Fiction. That's a good. Well, American Fiction was just released. You missed the whole thing, right? Right? If that's what you're saying, no miss. I mean, American Fiction was just released. It wasn't early in the year release, so that's what we're discussing. Okay, so it's going to be Robert Downey Jr. winning. Ryan Gosling's a strong number two. He's not going to win, but if there were ever going to be an upset, it'd be Ryan Gosling, but it's not going to happen. De Niro's in. Not going to win for Killers. He's been there so many times. It's not going to happen. And then we're going to go with Dafoe, because he has the SAG and the Golden Globe. You know who is falling apart is Ruffalo, which I love. I mean, listen, can I say this, that there's nothing that makes me happier than to see Ruffalo not getting a nomination on Tuesday morning. It's a laughable performance. I know he's supposed to be a goof in the film, but it's too much. He said he learned he can play different characters after watching Poor Things. I would suggest to you, Mark Ruffalo, I learned from watching you should stick to what you used to do and never try to do this again. Don't ever attempt to do what you did in Poor Things again. It's an embarrassing performance as that film rolls on. And the fact that he's fallen so far, he did not get a BAFTA. He did not get a SAG. because other people saw the same poor things I did. It's a Razzie performance. I called it when I saw it. Ruffalo's terrible in this movie. He's funny for a second. There's times, listen, I love a Mark Ruffalo when you look at a Collateral. When you look at, what was the one where he played the dad with Julianne Moore, the kind of free-loving dad. That he was great in that, when he was coming on, and you've seen him in all these things. He's very good when he's kind of just grounded, right? He was so ungrounded and untethered in Poor Things, and you're watching going, oh God, dude, this is not, don't do this. You need to stop. You need to just I know the movie you're in, but that speaks to Yorgos Lanthimos not telling him dude, tone it down. Bring me back to a level 8 or 9, not a 15. It was terrible, that performance. It's so bad. So here's number 5, Sterling K. Brown. It goes like this. The last 3, you got Defoe, you got Brown from American Fiction, you got Sessa from Holdovers coming on after the BAFTA nomination. Okay, along with, thank goodness, we finally have an Elordi sighting for Saltburn. He's fantastic in that movie. I said that. I said, look at the tweet. I have receipts. I said Jacob Elordi in Saltburn is greater by multiples than our boy Charles Melton in May December. I mean, it's embarrassing. Like, there's just times when I read some takes on films, and I go, what are you guys doing? Charles Melton in May December is a non-starter. How do you think that is a great... You guys need to stop watching Archie or whatever the hell he was on. You guys are weird. The kids are all right. Thank you, Nomis. I bring up... Thank you. I didn't see Dark Water. I kind of want to now to see. I'm sure he was good in it. He's terrible in this. But give me some love for having that. I didn't have on the name on the tip of my tongue, but apologies. I don't know. Does Sessa get in? Does Sterling K. Brown? I'm going to go Brown over Sessa. But the Holdovers, listen, the Holdovers has a shot in Best Picture. It's going to be Oppenheimer, but at least the Holdovers is a contender along with Barbie. Those are your 3. Nothing else has a shot. 0 films. So if the Holdovers get Sessa in, that means you've got all 3 in, along with the screenplay for sure, and then you get a director in Payne, likely, and then you get a Best Picture, and you have all the pieces you need to have a legitimate claim to at least be a strong contender for Best Picture, and that could happen if Sessa gets in. Sessa is very good in the film. I would have him in over Sterling K. Brown, but I'm going to leave him out for now. A lot of these, don't hold me to this, guys. Listen, I know the site's called Awards Ace. I get it. But at the end of the day, nobody knows the 100% what's going to happen. Anyone who tells you for sure, they're making the shit up. Because, listen, on Tuesday morning when we do this live, we're going to have a lot of weird shit happening. There'll be at least 1 or 2 things that happen that go, wait, what? What's happening here? Okay, here we go. Let's go to director. No, let's do screenplay. Okay, here we go. Let's do original screenplay, adapted screenplay, animated, and then anything else after that, I think we're about done. That's pretty much, we've covered everything. Here we go. Original screenplay, top 5. Number 1, I'm going to put Holdovers at number 1. 2 will be Anatomy of a Fall. This is what's wild. Anatomy of a Fall. What if it misses in Best Picture but gets a screenplay? That is so rare, to be a winner of the Golden Globe screenplay and not a Best Picture nominee. It could happen. Right now, I think I slid it in, but it's wild. Maestro, Past Lives, and then Air. The one spot Air is pretty much, I wouldn't say a lock, because you still have May December. Oh my God, if May December gets in. I hope it's Air over May December. Please say it's Air over May December. But those are your 5 original screenplay. Let's go adapted. Then I'll hit you. By the way, if I'm not getting all the comments, I promise you I'll get to Super Chats and all the comments after we do this, and then I'm going to hammer Critics' Choice again. Because the story's crazy. Guys, the story's insane what I'm going to talk about with Critics' Choice. It's bad. I mean, it's really bad. It's not, I don't know if it's as bad as accepting free trips, 4 nights at the luxurious Beverly Hilton. No, it was actually, my bad. It was the Four Seasons. I want to make sure I get my story. They attack me for saying, it was a different 5-star hotel. It was the Four Seasons for 4 days, 4 nights and 5 days, or whatever the hell it was. A long time to come in and watched MGM Amazon movies, and then they got nominations. Yeah, that doesn't look bad, does it, Joey? No, it doesn't look bad. I'd love to have Joey on here. He would never do it because he would have to answer questions he doesn't want to answer. He doesn't want to talk to anybody. He barely has any quotes from anything. I've talked to him before. And the thing is the thing is, Joey probably never realized that, eventually you might want to. I'm not going to finish what I was going to say. I'm just going to say this. Joey had no idea who I was when I was in Critics' Choice, and now that I'm out, he sure as fuck does. That's the beauty of it. Because it's not because I have an axe to grind. It's because now that I'm not beholden to being in a bullshit group, I can savage and attack and be a journalist about this. And that was something he should have seen coming. Because at the end of the day, if you know anything about me, you know that I am absolutely a truth teller and I will not hold back. And that includes Menzel. We're going to talk about HCA tonight. And that's just the reality. I'm going to say what I believe. And Menzel might give me a call tomorrow and say, I don't like what you said. And I'll say, well, I think it was fair, because I think that's how it goes, right? That's just how we do it. Adapted screenplay. Number one is Oppenheimer, no question about it. You also have the USC. Now, you guys are going to say, what's USC here? If you can see it, let me make it bigger. Let me make these things bigger and me smaller, because you guys have seen enough of me. You want to see the names on there. We don't want to see Weber in his Watford jersey tonight. We want to see what you have. Here, now it's easier for you to see. Oppenheimer, number one, you've got the USC. Now, first of all, BAFTA's BAFTA, GG's Golden Globes. USC is USC Scripter. So USC has an award called the Scripter that goes to the best adapted screenplay. They do not have an original. It's always adapted. So it has a USC. Barbie did not get a USC. Killers of the Flower Moon did. Poor Things did. American Fiction did. And then the other one that did is the film I just gave a lot of praise to, Origin. So right now I have Barbie in, even though it didn't get BAFTA. I don't care. It's in for sure. Oppenheimer and Barbie are locked. Killers of the Flower Moon, Poor Things, American Fiction. I think American Fiction should be up higher. I will move American Fiction up to like maybe 3. I know it won at Critics' Choice, but you know why it won at Critics' Choice? Because they flew 50-plus members in and had them stay at the Four Seasons for 4 nights and wine and dine them, all expenses paid, and then, of course, American Fiction wins. That's not shady, is it, guys? Hey, everybody, come in with the comments. Shady or not? Your members get flown into L.A. 4 days and 4 nights at the 5-star Four Seasons in Beverly Hills. And then the film that the studio is pushing that paid for the trip gets a nomination. Actually, my bad, a win for adapted screenplay over Oppenheimer, the film that you named Best Picture. All of a sudden, American Fiction win. Now, I'm not suggesting American Fiction shouldn't be there, but isn't it a little suspect? Yeah, shady. And the funniest part is that boys like that dude Ricky, who's a shameless, thirsty bitch. He sat there and was like, "Oh, I'm so proud to be here." Like, they're proud. Like, dude, let me explain something to you, Ricky. Don't be proud of the fact that you took a free trip here and pretend to be some kind of big shot in LA, getting all your bills paid for by Amazon MGM, and think that's something to be proud of, dude. If that's something that you're proud of, my God, your life's sad. You should be like you should be like going, yeah, I didn't do that trip. Not like I took the trip, I'm a badass. No, actually you're not, and it's pretty pathetic. And yeah, you're compromised, but you're not. You're a shill, so it doesn't matter. You're not a real critic, but you know that. Sorry, we got real there for a minute, guys. Let's go to our next, and then it would be Origin in there. I have no problem. I think. Listen, here's a case for Origin. Origin is an extremely ambitious screenplay based on a book called Cast, written by the author who's featured obviously in the movie. I recommend Origin. It's a movie that's going to have you thinking, and it'll make you be on just locked in throughout. And so many films I watch, you just go in there and you turn your brain off, right? 100%. The real shill shady. No, I don't have a Patreon. Or is it It's Patreon, my bad. Simeon, just send a super chat. It's just as easy. Just go on there and put the thing in and I'll read your comment. It's like I'm the guy. You just put that in there, and I have to read it. Even Ricky could come on here and defend himself with a super chat. But I didn't take a free trip. By the way, it's the most publicity that guy's ever gotten here on this channel, so he should be proud. Okay, let's continue along. Zone of Interest could find a way in there as well. Okay, let's go animated, then we'll go director picture, and then we'll go comments. Wall-to-wall comments, everybody. Wall-to-wall comments. Here we go. Animated's already over. It's Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. Although, in a weird world, man, what if A Boy and the Heron wins? What if Miyazaki in his totally mid-film ends up beating Spider-Man? I mean, what the hell are we doing? I will lose my shit if that film wins over Spider-Man. It happened at Critics' Choice, didn't they? Didn't Critics' Choice give The Boy and the Heron over Spider-Man? These critics, they're not even real critics. They're the kind of people that do think this is a great Miyazaki film. They don't even know what they're watching, half these people. Half these people don't even watch the movies. I told you the story about that dude who runs that site. It's a big film site. I said, hey, did you enjoy watching Good Time and Ghost Story? This is like 2017 when I was talking to him at the Critics' Choice. Like, I didn't even watch those. I'm like, I got to go. You make me ill. I'm violently ill at this moment because you don't even like film. You don't love film, cinema. How do you not watch the two best films of 2017? Ghost Story and Good Time are the two best films that year. This dude's like, I didn't watch them. That's Critics' Choice in a nutshell. Those are the voters of Critics' Choice. They're not even serious. They're not serious people. Okay. Across the board, there's a few exceptions, but in general, they're a bunch of celebrity obsessed wankers. And wait till I read this article about Critics' Choice. It's just when I read it, I go, my God, that makes them look terrible. I can't wait to read this. It's amazing. Just wait. Super Mario Brothers movies in, and I hope that Ninja Turtles gets in. And then next would be Wish, falling further and further out. You could actually see Nimona get in. Netflix always seems to get a film in. Suzume, Migration, possibly. That Dawn of the Nugget, Chicken Run, possibly got a BAFTA. But I think our five are going to be Spider-Man, Boy and the Heron, Elemental, Mario Bros, and Ninja Turtles. I hope Ninja Turtles. Ninja Turtles is entertaining as hell. One of the best animated films of the year. I liked Ruby Gillman more than half these films. Ruby Gillman's better than these films. All right, let's go to director. We did screenplays, right? Yes. Okay, here we go. We're last two, and then anything else you can check out there or ask me questions. I'm wide open. Then we're going to savage Critics' Choice. Because of the article, I didn't write it. It's amazing. The article is so destructive to that organization. All right, best director. Here we go. Number one is Christopher Nolan. Duh, he's winning for Oppenheimer. Two is Greta Gerwig. She's got the DGA. I know my friend Paul says she might not get. She's in. I mean, come on, man. He says that Triet from Anatomy of Fall could get in. I suggest possibly none of this. Listen, when we get to the seven, there's a lot of play here beyond Scorsese, Nolan. I think Alexander Payne, we don't know for sure. He's got the DGA, he's got the BAFTA, but here's the thing. It's wild because these last couple slots in director, Nolan's winning, so it doesn't matter. But remember, look no further than a couple years ago when Denis did not get a nomination for Dune, and we're like, what? The best director didn't get a nomination? Nolan, can you imagine? Can you imagine how I might have to do like a 6-hour stream on Tuesday morning if Nolan does not get a nomination for Oppenheimer? In fact, here's what I'll promise you. Let's get the microphone there. If Nolan does not get a nomination for Oppenheimer, I will do a 6-hour live stream on Tuesday morning. Don't root for that, but I will somehow fill 6 hours of ranting about the Academy not giving Nolan a nomination for Oppenheimer. It's not going to happen, so I don't have to worry about 6 hours. I'm not going to. And then we have Bradley Cooper. I have him in. I know he didn't get DGA, but I got him in over Yorgos. Why? Well, I mean, part of that's just me not wanting to see Yorgos get in. Then you have Trier for Anatomy of a Fall. Celine Song, probably not. And then maybe a Jonathan Glazer for Zone of Interest. I mean, that's a really artistic film. It's a lot about the direction, so maybe we see that happen. Listen, I wouldn't put any money on director beyond really Nolan and Scorsese and Gerwig. Those three. Everyone else, I'm not going to mess with slots 4 and 5. It's too insane, right? It's just too much. Here we go. Best picture, and then it's comment time, whatever you want it, and then we're going to savage Critics' Choice. We're going to read the article, and it's going to savage. They're going to savage themselves with the article. Best picture contenders, Aces top 10. Here we go. Number 1, Oppenheimer, no question. Very likely winner. In fact, I would say 95% chance of winning Oppenheimer. Number 2 is Barbie. It has a chance, along with The Holdovers 3, Killers of the Flower Moon 4, 5, Maestro, 6, Poor Things. Oh my God, please say it misses. American Fiction 7, Past Lives, a film that I'm not locked in on, but because the further we get down, right, the weaker this gets. 8, Past Lives, 9, Anatomy of a Fall. I have The Color Purple in at 10. Now you're all going to come after me. The Color Purple didn't. I don't care. I don't care. It's Oprah Winfrey. It's got a SAG ensemble. I know it misses a lot. I get that it's not always a SAG ensemble's a lot. They only had 5, so it's a good. That was a saving grace for Color Purple. It's Oprah. It's Warner Brothers. It's a remake of a beloved classic. It's a strong film. I think it gets in. Now, what would not get in that case? It would be Zone of Interest. Why was Zone of Interest? I had it in the entire year. The reason I am taking Zone of Interest out, and I'm not certain by any means. I'm just letting you know, these last films, I'm not putting any money on this shit because it's going to win international feature. It's got its, right? It's got its thing. So that's how some people might look at that, how some voters, some members might look at it. Listen, Neon has been pushing Origin hard. You had Angelina Jolie. You had, I believe, Chastain was pushing it. There's a lot of action on that film, like Riseborough last year in that bizarre nomination. But Origin is not going to be as bizarre as Riseborough, as Andrea Riseborough. Riseborough? God, I forget the name now. That was weird. Origin won't be that weird if it shows up. It'll definitely be an upset. And like, wow. And then we have Air, Across the Spider-Verse never materialized, although it's there. Iron Claw. Iron Claw is just going to go home empty on Tuesday morning. Sorry, guys. It's funny you say that, Gone Girl, because here's the deal. I had it for the longest time, Anatomy out and Zone in. I now have switched because of the fact that Zone of Interest will win international feature. You understand the thinking, right? So if you are member, you're going to think, well, the Zone of Interest is going to get its acknowledgement in international feature, so we don't have to put it in picture. But it's a Holocaust film in a year that we've been dealing with so much of that discussion that it makes sense as a best picture. I'm telling you, I'm not betting on any of this stuff. When we talk on Tuesday morning at 5:30, and I'm like this, hey guys, let's talk about what I'm looking at. I'm gonna have the TV here, right over here. I'm gonna be looking at the TV like Grace Randolph reads a teleprompter, and I'm going to react to what I see and so I can't show it at the same time. They'll be like, it's a copyright and restriction bullshit. All right, I'll choose Cooper over Gerwig because I like his choices. I agree. Luis, thank you for finally someone providing support for Bradley Cooper as a director for Maestro. His choices are largely impeccable in that film, and it is a directorial film more so than a screenplay film because of the editing, because of the cinematography, because of the creative choices. Remember, we talk about putting these films through all of these different lenses. Where does the film shine, right? You have to be able to watch A Zone of Interest and recognize that Michael Levi score. You have to do that. So once you identify things like that, then you see where they fit. Obviously, the more fits you have for a film, the stronger its chances are for Best Picture. Why is Oppenheimer going to win? Because it's the greatest, cinematic achievement of 2023. I would definitely argue that for sure. But also look at how many categories it's in. Production design, costume design, you've got the score, you've got editing, you've got light, sound, obviously sound. His use of sound, right? When the bomb test, holy crap. Like all of a sudden suck all the sound out and just have, right? I mean, that's sound. So all of these categories, it's everywhere. It's in every single category except for lead actress. That's it. It's virtually everywhere. Everywhere it could be except for actress, Oppenheimer is. What's a category it's not? That it could qualify for. Obviously, it's not going to be an international feature. It's not going to be in documentary. It's not going to be in live action short. I'm talking about the categories it could be in. It's in all of them because it's that strong of a film. That's why it'll have the most nominations on Tuesday, along with Barbie, that's in virtually every category as well as Oppenheimer. It just won't win as many, but it will be right there. Here's the thing, though, if you think about this. The one way Barbie could actually overtake Oppenheimer with nominations is with song. I didn't do song. Go check it out on Awards Days. Song, I don't want to sit here and drone on about songs, but Barbie has at least 2 songs that are going to get in, possibly 3. If it gets 3 songs, that's how it wins most nominations, because it's going to get all these other nominations in all the other categories along with 3 in one category. That's the thing about song. You don't usually have that happen. So if you can double down or triple down in one category, that's how you win. That's how you win. Kuzma, 2023 films I loved, seems to be forgotten. Air, Margaret, and Champions. Champions is a fun movie. It's never going to be a best picture, but I really enjoyed the film. Are You There, God? It's Me, Margaret. Very strong film as well. One of my favorites of the year. Probably could have put it in my top 10. I keep forgetting about that film. Air as well. Another favorite. Again, problem with that film and Margaret early in the year, right? Champions earlier in the year. That was never an awards film, but I'm just saying, again, any of those films to carry through is virtually impossible unless, as John told us the answer, that's the situation, right? All right, let's see. I'm going to get to some super chats if there's any, and then we're going to move on to Critics' Choice. And, the night's going to be crazy. What can I tell you? How awesome was Queen Rock Montreal? Oh, I just saw it moments ago, Johnny. Thanks for, noticing on Twitter. I just came out of IMAX and got a chance to see it. Can I just say for a moment that when you sit through a concert film such as Queen Rock's Montreal, the Bowie documentary, you go back and look at Moon Age Daydream, you just feel, man, the power of cinema, right? I'm watching Freddie Mercury on an IMAX screen with that thumping sound. Oh my God, I can just feel it reverberate in my soul, right? It's like boom, boom, we will rock you. And I'm just like, boom, boom. I'm bouncing around on my seat and I'm like, this is the power of cinema. It's like the old Maxell ad. The dude's just like hair back going. That was me watching this. What I love about going to a concert film, the Taylor Swift film was a really spectacular as well. When you look around at the audience, and the audience was largely old folk. I mean, just because that's Queen. That was 84, I believe, on that concert. For me, Queen really is about, like, I go back to the Iron Eagle song, right? Mighty Wings? That's Mighty Wings is the song from Top Gun by Loverboy. No, One Vision. Oh my God. Just so you know, that's one of my favorite workout songs. Whenever I put on One Vision, I'm just like, dun, 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 dun. I'm like, let's fucking go. And I just explode. But the power of cinema, the people were into it. People were dancing in the aisles. Phones were out like a concert. It's a different experience at a concert film. I took a little video. I could upload it. I could have showed it. But just imagine it on an IMAX screen. Freddie Mercury is one of the most talented human beings to ever grace the planet. And I want to say this after watching this film. Anyone who says Rami Malek did not do a kick-ass job recreating the presence of Freddie Mercury is so dead wrong that I cannot take them serious on any other subject for the remainder of time. Rami Malek absolutely destroyed that role. Whether he sang or not, he was Freddie Mercury, a larger-than-life persona that most people would have failed miserably at that. And it speaks to, essentially, Rami being born to play that role. And the fact that he won makes me very happy years on, because that film got so much shit. And after sitting through Queen Rock's Montreal, he killed it, because I'm watching it going, I'm seeing Rami in Freddie and Freddie in Rami. He nailed it. He absolutely nailed Freddie Mercury, and he deserves a ton of credit for that. That's right. Fried chicken. For the longest time, I go, is that what they said? I believe they said fried chicken. They did say it. Of course, we'll do a stream on Oscars night, but we'll also be here Tuesday morning. Remember, Tuesday morning, we are going to do a stream at 5:30 in the morning here, 8:30 on the East Coast, live reaction. I'll go for like a half an hour talking about all this stuff. I can go forever. As you guys know, I'm fairly well versed on this stuff. I mean, there's a lot of people out there that could try to do it and they're going to fail miserably because they just don't have, first of all, it takes a number of things to do this. You have to be able to input information quickly and to exput it, thank you, out into the microphone quickly. You have to be able to process at a very high speed. And for a lot of people, it's not available. There's a lot of yeah. When you guys be like, this sucks ass. I don't want to watch this. And that's the reality. Is people come after me all the time, but I haven't seen anybody come on here and go, he's not very good on the live stream. I'm not going to say I'm good or bad. No one's ever said you suck, because that's what they do. If I was terrible at this, they come on and go, Weber, you're terrible. Why are you doing the show? No one ever does that. Why? Same thing. They don't get on me for saying I'm fat, because they go, I can't use those things. Remember, people will only attack what they believe they can attack, and they don't have much to attack here. They go, he's a gym bro. I don't know what else I have. I don't think I have anything else. He's not bald. He's not fat. I mean, he's not young, but he also doesn't look old. So I don't know what to do here. He's dumb. That's why film Twitter implodes. I love to just poke film Twitter because they have nothing. They can't ever come back. And anyhow, I'm the kind of guy that they poke me and I go, you want to roll up? I use that as ammo, baby. I go to the gym and destroy with that shit. So bring it all day, all night. Sleepy Skunk, great to have you back. Zone of Interest is insanely dull. Watch it. Don't listen. I understand there's a lot of people who have that issue. It is a repetitive film in that its theme is the detachment of the Holocaust as the family is experiencing their normal lives next to Auschwitz. I get it. It's like mundane life experiences while people are getting brutally slaughtered next door. I get that it is repetitive, but I suggest to you that the horror of realizing the way it's presented by Glazer is the strength of the film. But I understand why you would say that. But you got to say this, though. The score, right? Micah's score. You have to give me that. You got to give me that. All right, let's do, you guys ready? Critics' Choice. We can still talk. I got a little, oh my God, I'm up on an hour. Okay, I'm going to go a little faster. We're going to go long tonight because it is the Oscar preview along with, here comes Critics' Choice. This article someone sent to me today, and I was like, what? Are Critics' Choice members zookeepers? Okay, you ready for this article? This is crazy shit. Here we go. Okay, so I had to take screenshots of this because the stupid site it's on is like you have to download an app. So I took it from the phone, from my email. You guys ready? Okay, this is from that new website that's run by Matthew Belloni, who used to be Bellany. It's a baloney from THR, and now he runs one called Puck. You ready? This is his stuff. Someone swiped it, so I think it's behind a paywall. Sorry, Matthew. I'm going to use it because it's a stream. People want to talk about it, so I'm going to steal your content. The Critics' Choice Awards need to undergo a major overhaul based on a new report about the 2024 ceremony. The latest award ceremony put on by the Critics' Choice. This sounds like it's AI, but wait. After the event, Puck ran a scathing report about its What I'm Hearing newsletter on Thursday. Here we go. You ready? An anonymous studio head allegedly witnessed a, quote, hangar-sized tsunami of creepy behavior. Let me read that one more time because that's one of the best quotes I have ever heard in my life. I want to talk to this studio head. Please come on the show. He witnessed, or she witnessed, a hangar-sized tsunami of creepy behavior by members of the CCA, leaving the exec to say, quote, never again about attending the ceremony in the future. The newsletter's author, Matthew Belloni, then elaborates, claiming that multiple sources painted a picture of the event being a full-on petting zoo, with CCA members constantly crossing the line when it came to interacting with the stars in attendance, including Best Actress in a Drama Series nominee Jennifer Aniston. This is where you get information that no one else is going to give you. Get ready. Here we go. Welcome to MMT. Let me tell you about Jennifer Aniston. I've seen her multiple times at events. One was for the morning show just a couple years ago at the Edition in West Hollywood, brand new hotel on the Strip. That year it was just opened, and we walked into the Apple party. They handed everybody an Apple. What the hell did they hand us? Like the Apple TV thing. But I got rid of it. I gave it to somebody. So I didn't make any money on it. I gave it away. Here's what I'm going to tell you. Jennifer Aniston was at that event. She walked in, and she was there for about 10 minutes, and she left. But also, very important to note, from me seeing her there and also at the Critics' Choice back in like 2018, she has bodyguards around her. She does not like to be photographed like she's in a petting zoo. So this was a mistake to go up to Jennifer Aniston. She is just one of those celebrities that's going to be a little more standoffish. Now, I am also going to say this. I admit to going to Critics' Choice back in, I want to say 17 or 18, when I was new to LA, and I was like, oh my God, there's Ryan Gosling. And I walked up to Ryan Gosling, and I said, can I get a picture? I did some of this. I'm not going to, listen, I'm telling you I did it. So I'm not saying these people, but I'm going to explain that now I don't do that. But at the time, I was new. I was excited. Look, and I also was like, it's Ryan Gosling. It's Drive. I mean, you guys don't understand. I worship Drive. If you ask me what movie do I just want to watch in a loop for the rest of my life, I would say Drive. So I'm like, there's Ryan Gosling. I've got to go say hi and say I love Drive, which is exactly what I did. I took a quick picture. And then I also got a picture of that same ceremony with Ryan Reynolds, who was not thrilled. Now, listen, I know now that Ryan Reynolds follows me on Twitter. I think he has an idea who I am. He's interacted with me on Twitter a few times. I'm not suggesting we're best friends by any means, okay? Let's just make sure that's clear. But when I asked him to take a picture, he was just like, he was very gracious, but he really wasn't thrilled. So I'm going to tell you this, that the stars don't really love that. And I did it, and I don't do it anymore. But watching some of this from the Critics' Choice, it's still going on. And look, CCA members and sponsors constantly asking for selfies, insisting on hugs or even kisses. First of all, I've never insisted on a hug or a few kisses from any celebrity. The one time I took a picture with Jennifer Aniston at this really small little event I was a huge fan of Hustlers. So I want to make sure one thing's clear too. I've never taken a picture with a celebrity that I hate their work. I would never walk up to Emma Stone right now and say, oh my God, Poor Things is so great. That's freaking weird. See, that's the thing is like, I'll get pictures with someone I love, like Todd Field last year was like the only person I got a selfie with. You know, Jamie Foxx, because I think he's amazing. I actually complimented him on Annie. So these are the things. But I didn't ask for a hug or a kiss from either Ryan or from Jamie or from Todd Field or any of these celebrities. A source spotted a person literally petting Jennifer Aniston's dress. What is happening? Puck also discussed much maligned catering for the event. There's never any food there. Joey's cheap as shit. Joey Berlin is one of the cheapest guys in this entire town. He literally is he's a cheap guy. He's had pizza slices in bags. That's better than the turnips they served the year I was there. They took a jab at CCA's membership. According to the outlet, most people in the group are junketeers or television people, not critics. We said that a million times, implying they cover the industry and interview celebrities but don't artfully critique films or TV shows. The CCA only requires members must be working film critics or TV journalists whose coverage of a broad range of blah, blah, blah. Basically, it seems CCA's membership requirements don't exactly mesh with the definitive organization label. After hearing the complaints, he's saying, why do the Critics' Choice even exist after just 1 million viewers tuning in to watch versus 9.4 million for the Globes and probably 20 million, if we're lucky, for the Oscars or more, right? Or 15 to 20, whatever the number is. It's a lot more than one. This is bad for Critics' Choice. Would you guys agree? Let's get some comments. By the way, I just admitted to taking selfies. Like, you can go look for them right now on Twitter. I didn't say I haven't engaged in this behavior. I'm telling you that it's probably not. Now that I've been in the industry long enough, I would never do that. Now, if a celebrity said they wanted to take a picture with me, which I understand, because and that would make sense, because they'd be like, "Can we get a picture with you?" Then I would say, "Let's do this." But otherwise, I would suggest that it's not wise. But see, this is the beauty of my honesty, right? That typically someone would do this and hammer CC. These people, I did these things. I'm not proud of these things, but I also never kissed or hugged a celebrity in my life unless they hugged me back. They said, Eric, I'm very, like, the night that I met Elizabeth Olsen, while she was definitely hitting on me, I I didn't reach over and give her a kiss on her cheek. Man, I wish I would have. No, that's creepy. But if she would have, I wouldn't have said you can't. Right? Elizabeth, if you want, I'm down with a hug. If you want to do it, you can. I'm not going to go for it, but if you want to hug, I'm kind of glad whoever's no longer part of the city. Yeah, exactly. Right, Schlacker? I'm just, that was the old me. Now I don't need it. I don't want it. And I think Jeff Snyder said this very well in a tweet that I just read. Critics should be like lone wolves. Well, who's more of a lone wolf than me in Hollywood? Name one critic who's more. There's not one. Nobody. Snyder might say he is. I'm telling you what. No, he's not. No one goes as hard on films as I do. Nobody. No one. Not one single person. So if anyone's a lone wolf in this space, it's this guy. Not Gore, that's for sure. He's a pretend. It's all smoke and mirrors. It's not real. I'm the real deal, and he knows it too. He's like, he even told me. Gore has to ask Gore next time he does a stream. What he goes, you're dangerous. He's not dangerous. He might think I'm dangerous. I'm the real freaking deal, bro. All right. So yeah, I'm not. Trust me, Luis. I'm not going to go into the whole story with Elizabeth Olsen. I'm just going to suggest to you that she's the most beautiful woman I've ever seen in my life. I know that's just. Yeah. Well, you hear. Thank you, Freddie. Welcome to the channel. See, that's the thing. Here's the funny thing is, answer this. Am I even 1% phony? One, not 10 or 20 or 1% phony. It's all my one. No, not 1% phony. That's never a good thing if someone says phony. This town's full of phony people. I am not. And that everyone knows that. And they go, this is weird. You're like fully just like unfiltered. It's bizarre. Well, so be it. That's what it is. Now, because I promised it, I'm going to do it. Someone said, are you going to talk about HCA? I'm going to do it. I know Scott Menzel. Scott's a good friend, but at the end of the day, I have a show that I do where I talk about everything without having any filter. So I'm going to discuss HCA, and here's what's happening. This is not going to take long because I don't want to stay on the stream forever here. I want to get to it because someone said, are you going to cover it? Like, kind of like, oh, are you going to, go after your friend? And I'm like, of course I'm going to say some things about it. You guys don't understand. I've obviously talked about Gore. I don't hate Gore, but I obviously have some issues with some things. But it's fine. He can have issues with me. It's fine. I can live with that. Okay, so just so you know, Critics' Choice made a move to expel all of the HCA members. In other words, I shouldn't say expel. Here's what happened. HCA and Critics' Choice had an overlap of members. So Hollywood Critics Association, now Hollywood Creative Alliance, and Critics' Choice had an overlap of members. And Critics' Choice came and said, listen, we need you to pick. You can either be in Critics' Choice or HCA. You cannot be in both. So what essentially happened, and this is the reality of it, is that everyone who was asked that question that was in Critics' Choice and HCA essentially left. So HCA lost virtually all of their members that were in Critics' Choice as well. Not all. I can't confirm it's all, but I will suggest to you the numbers at least 80, 85, 90% of the people, maybe higher, that left HCA. Now, here's what happened. This is a weird story, and this is why it's hard to even present in like a short amount of time. CCA said, listen, we don't like the fact that you're saying that if you come to our award show, HCA saying if you come to the HCAs, you'll be able to campaign for the CCAs because those members have an overlap and you can talk to them and maybe do better at Critics' Choice. Now, let me read to you the email that was received And this is from Scott Menzel. I'm going to read it to you. And I'm going to let you guys come in. This is where you take over because I have a little bit of a conflict of interest. I've already presented the story, but I want you to come in and tell me what you think. Okay? Get ready. I'm going to read it to you, and I want you to tell me if you would have a problem if this email was sent to you. Here it comes. I do think it's important to note, to quote, and no, this is actually in caps, all talent, that the Critics' Choice voting opens this weekend, and there are about 50 members who are part of both groups, including two of us in leadership, Yang Chavez, now the HCA's co-CEO, and Scott. Plus, there are several other members who are in BAFTA, SAG, and the Academy. I would really hammer that point home because it could be a make or break for a lot of people. 50 votes is a lot. That was the email that Scott sent to the studios. Now, here's my question for you. If you're in Critics' Choice and you find out that email was sent, that you're essentially, and listen, Scott, I would love to have Scott on to talk about this, but I'm just going to say, after reading the email, I understand, I just have hammered Joey Berlin throughout the entire show. So again, to prove that I'm fair, okay, I'm going to tell you this. I can see how Joey would read that and say, wait a second, you're suggesting to the talent, because that was sent to agents, studio heads and people trying to get your people to come to the HCAs. Joey's like, you're not going to use my organization to get people to come to your event. Do you understand that? That was his problem. Now, that was what led to this decision. So I understand from Joey's point of view what happened. I understand that Scott's trying to get people to come to the show. So I get both sides. So I am discussing the issue. If you guys have, go for it. Whatever, if you want to have a comment about this, it's open. I will hit whatever you want to say here. But the reality is that it's kind of a mess. And I'll tell you, I'm glad I'm not in either organization anymore. And I like Scott, and I had a nice run in Critics' Choice. I left of my choice. That needs to be stated again and again and again. I have receipts to prove as such if needed. I left both organizations because I do not want to be told how I have to think and speak and act by any fucking member of an organization. Not a single one. Not one of these film Twitter dweebs, these nobody, low-life dweebs. I'm not going to listen to them tell me I can't say Poor Things is a trash film. If you think you're going to try to button me up and shut me up by complaining about my behavior, I'm out. I'm not going to listen to this shit. And you know the funny thing is, and I'm going to tell Scott this tonight, and I like Scott, but I'm going to tell you the truth. When we had that discussion, I talked to you, Scott, about your members bitching about my Poor Things stuff. Oh, Weber's taking pictures in the movie. Never happened. And you know what I told Scott? I said, I don't want to deal with this shit. I'm out. Here's the funny thing is, those same bitch-ass HCA members who all just left the organization were the same bitch-ass HCA members who were bitching about me. So remember this. At the end of the day, if there's one thing that I bring to the table, it's loyalty. And once you cross that, watch the fuck out, okay? Because at the end of the day, that's not cool. And I said, I'm out. I'm not going to be listening to these people. These people in this industry and these people that are these film journalists, listen to me. I'm going to explain this to you as simply as I can. You will never control me. You will never be able to even come close to what I do. And you know that, and it pisses you off. And I got one big, very big word for you. Deal, cope, and seethe. You'll never, ever come close to doing what I do because you don't have the fucking balls to do it. That's the truth. And you know it. You don't have it. You're worried about getting invited to that next party. Got news for you. I don't care. I don't want to go. I get invited all the time. The only thing I went to this year was the Oppenheimer live score. That's it. One thing. Because it's about the movies. It's not about meeting a celebrity. Not anymore. Back in 2018 it was. I got a selfie. Man, we got serious there, didn't we? Listen, I mean, yes. Okay. So listen, Alex, I love Scott, but I can see how it was an overstep. People are leaving. Invite Scott. I would like Scott can come on. I have no, he's over it. He's at, thank you, good job. It is degenerate. It's a good word. At the end of the day, as I get ready to wrap the stream, I was going to talk about Coogler teaming up with Michael B. Jordan again. I was going to talk about Rose Glass's new film. I mean, listen, I'm burnt. I got a stream coming up on Tuesday. We got a lot. I'm excited, obviously, for the Rose Glass film. I don't even care what the reactions are. I can't wait. I mean, St. Mama's my number one film of 2020. So, yes, 2020, I saw it before they pulled it. They sent me a link, and I saw it, and I go, holy shit, this is great. This is, for a debut, for anything, this is my favorite film of the year. So I can't wait to see it. But at the end of the day, I'm just going to be as real as possible. I don't have time to even play 1% fake bullshit, and I'm going to call people out. And it's not like I'm against. I'm not. Scott's a friend, but I'm also not going to tell you what the reality of the situation is. And everything that I ever say on this stream is truth. It's authentic, and it's not. None of it's bullshit. I've never made up a single story here, not one. If anything, I've admitted to so much shit that I never even believe I did, because I am completely transparent and completely fearless, and most people in the space are neither of those two things. They're fake, and they want to be part of some shit, and at the end of the day, there isn't anything to be part of. The only thing you need to be part of is part of great cinema, right? That's it. That's the only thing. The only thing Eric wouldn't turn I mean, it's true. It's true. If Elizabeth listen, she knows how to get a hold of me. I don't think she's not on Twitter, but if she wants to send me a DM, maybe she has like a Stan account. Maybe she has, a burner account. I'm open to it. Elizabeth, I am 100% DMs are open to you. My God, what a woman. Thank you, Lana. I appreciate it. Brian, welcome, by the way. Okay, I'll go a couple more seconds. Why are all these critics and film Twitter people so obsessed and gatekeepy about other people's opinion on poor things? It's fucking creepy and fishy, and they're backing films. Brian, I've said this over and over. Why is it just you and me? Why? This is DR Movie News, by the way, on Twitter. Why in the hell is it just you and me? Can I ask you that? Well, listen, I told you, if you champion poor things, it says a lot about you. And it's not good stuff, man. It's really not good. It's one thing to like champion a bad film like A Beau is Afraid. But when you're championing poor things, like you said, it's creepy. I would argue, listen, let's go over it one more time. Oh, God, this is a whole nother stream. I can't believe I'm doing this. For all the people that go, you didn't talk about why you hated Poor Things on the Poor Things Suck stream, because it was new and I didn't want to ruin the movie. Now it's out. I don't give a shit. Implant her unborn baby's brain in her head and then go experience sexual activity as a toddler. That's what happens in the movie. Her body is an adult, but her brain's a toddler. So then the question becomes, what's the difference? If it's a toddler brain, isn't that what matters more than, you know what I'm saying? Like, think about this. Little people, right? A little person is little, but they're an adult. So we wouldn't think that's creepy. Do you see what I'm saying? Yeah, exactly. Yeah, thank you. Someone suggested she's garbage. So she's 10. Right, Brian? Brian, tell me I'm right. Even if she's developing fast, so she's 10. Here's how I can break that apart. When she first has sex with Ruffalo, correct? Isn't he the first one? He's the. I almost said I'm not going to get vile. When he does that, doesn't she say, "Ooh, that was fun"? She's like, "Ooh, that was fun. That felt good. Let's do that thing again." What kind of reaction is that? That's the reaction of a child. That's not the reaction of a fully grown adult. That's the reaction of a child. "Ooh, that was fun. Let's go play again." Yeah, exactly. It's totally creepy, and I can't wait for it to finally turn. It's finally going to turn. It's going to happen. Everyone's going to flip on Poor Things, and guess who's going to be the guy who is always right at the beginning, like I always am at the end of the day? This dude. This dude's always dead on. It always comes around, always comes. Freddy's attacking Gore. Fine, I'll get it in here. I'll get it in here. And I'm going to hammer Gore for one more thing, actually, because why not? He can hammer me, but he can't. This isn't true. What he says is not going to be true. Chris Gore pretends he doesn't care about all the glamour and celeb worship stuff, but he eats it all up and shills to get perks all the time. Cringe. So many critics take this stance. Cough, Campia. Gore goes to every event, and he lives for that shit. I don't, and I can prove it because I didn't go to shit this year. But here's the thing I'm going to say. This is going to be really scathing, but I'm going to say it. Spending time with Chris Gore is like spending time with someone with their head absolutely enveloped in the phone. Do you know what I'm saying? Have you ever been around people that they're not fully present? It'd be like if I was doing a stream here and I'm like, yeah, so, oh yeah, yeah, no, yeah. You know those people? Yeah, I'm not one of those people. I mean, sure, we've all been there, we've done it, but listen, ask my friend Paul, ask my boys Britt and all those guys who go to. I'm present. They go, we miss you. Well, you know why you miss me? Because I'm present. I'm not sitting there like in my phone all day, worried about when I'm going to get the next invite to some shit. Yeah, it's obnoxious too. All right, guys. Oh, that was fun. Thank you, Brian, for having my back, by the way. Finally, there's nobody else. It'll turn, though, Brian. Poor Things is going to turn, and we're going to end up being the champions. Just like Freddie Mercury sang tonight. We are the champions. It's coming. It's going to turn. Poor Things. It's going to be flipped, and everyone's going to go, holy shit, that movie is creepy, disturbing, and disgusting, and abhorrent. And as such, I can't believe anyone ever championed it. Everyone who said it was great is going to go, oh my God, you're right. I never said. It's going to be like the end of Can't Buy Me Love when Ronald all of a sudden is not cool. Everyone's going to be like, I never said Poor Things was. I never said Poor Thing. I didn't know. I never. Well, what? Oh, delete tweet. I didn't say anything about Poor Thing. No. I didn't say. Poor Things is totally fucking gross. Oh my God, that movie's terrible. Like, what was Emma Stone thinking doing that movie? Who said that? Who said that in a reaction tweet like 2.5 months ago now? What was Emma Stone thinking being in this movie? She should fire her managers. Who said that? Who was the guy who said, oh, that's right, that's me. Guess who wins again? And then Film Twitter goes, I hate Weber. There's a reason you hate me, because I'm always right. I'll see you Tuesday morning, live from LA at 5:30 in the morning. Wish me luck. My God, it's going to be a tough stream. I'll see you then. Good luck and Godspeed. Tuesday.